In Africa today, about 500 million people have to travel long distances before they can see a doctor. And even for people who are in big cities, they have to stand in lines for hours before they can see a doctor. So basically, there is a shortage of doctors that makes this a major problem for Africa. So that's basically the problem we are trying to solve right now. Business in Cameroon, good morning. This is Jean Lobe, founder, CEO of Waspito. Welcome to our office. We have a platform that connects doctors to patients and the patients to labs and pharmacies as well. So what this means is most of the times users can just stay on their phones, mobile phones, consult a doctor via video call. After the consultation, if there's an ordonnance, the doctor sends it digitally as well. You can ask the lab to come to you and do prélèvement à domicile. And also you can purchase medications from pharmacies and have it delivered to your homes as well. So just to facilitate the process of having access to care. I lost my dad some years ago due to a heart attack. He was based in a small town in Cameroon called Kumba. There was no cardiologist that was reachable at the time. And I had the thought that if we had a cardiologist who could have been reachable, that we could talk to on the phone, he could tell us a little bit what to do with first aid before we take him to the nearest town where we could meet a cardiologist. So that, in addition to all the other research I did, seeing that many people in Africa have to, they don't have easy access to doctors, that's when the idea came up. And then that led to me starting to do some research. I had to look into documents from the World Health Organization, look out some researches that other medical institutions have made, and got to find out that there is a high shortage of doctors in Africa. So one doctor in Africa has to take care of between 8,000 and 10,000 people. If you want to compare that to Europe, it's one doctor is to about 300 people. So that's a major problem. So back then I was working in a multinational company. I had to resign at a certain point and then focus on finalizing my plan. It took me another 2 to 3 years, and in 2020 we finally launched Waspito in Cameroon. I was the only person doing everything. So in the first month, I would say started from me, just me, one person, later on about 3 people, and today we have about 15 of us working for Waspito. I'll just show you to the team that is based in Cameroon. We're in the open space there so that we can get to know them as well. We didn't start in this office. It was just in my living room, in my small parlor, in Makepe. That was our office then. We didn't have all this space that you see today. But thankfully we have this our small home, place we can call home. Introduce you to the team. We have engineers on this side. We have some medical doctors, communications team, the finance team, and then the sales, the people who go out and get us business into Waspito. So basically this is where we have operations in terms of Cameroon operations. The major part of the team is here. We are about 10 of us in this office. So all the doctors on the Waspito platform today, they can work from wherever they are. So they are spread across Cameroon. We have doctors in Douala, Yaoundé, Garoua, Kumba, everywhere. One of the key things we want to do with the money we just raised now is to be able to, first of all, make sure we educate the Cameroonian public, push so that we have as many users, solve the problems of as many people as possible in Cameroon, and also be able to do the same thing in Côte d'Ivoire. And eventually we'll have other African countries. The vision is to be in about 11 African countries by the year 2025. And by the year 2030, we want to be present in about 25 African countries. In the rural areas in Cameroon and other countries in Africa, there is really a challenge of presence of doctors. So what we want to be able to do is find a way to connect these people to doctors, even when they are in the rural zones. So for example, we are trying to get specific kiosks in certain hotspots in some villages where we can have all the tech required, maybe a small device that people can be able to do consultations there. So doctors who are in Douala and other big cities can still talk to these users even if they are in remote areas or in villages. So that's basically one of the main things we want to be able to solve in Cameroon and other countries, to reduce the number of people who have to travel long distances in order to see a doctor. in terms of the structural challenges around internet, around connectivity, and even money to be able to buy data and all that, what we are doing now is to make sure, first of all, in the big cities where there's the internet connection, we have to make sure people can easily access doctors instantly. You don't do any bookings on Waspito. When you see a doctor online, you can consult immediately. So that's on the one side. Secondly, we've made the pricing very accessible. Today, Waspito, you can consult a doctor with just 3,000 francs. I think that's it's a good price point where most people will be able to afford that. And now also with the telcos in Cameroon, our telecommunications companies in Cameroon, they are doing great effort, including Camtel, in making sure there's connectivity in most of Cameroon. The last numbers I saw showed that about 90% of Cameroon has at least a 2G or 3G connection. So this means anybody who is anywhere in Cameroon that has data connection will be able to use Waspito platform, because it doesn't consume that much data as we speak. And in the longer term, we are trying to partner with one other business entity that's going to make it possible for us to have a Waspito Lite version. So this means people who have phones that are not very advanced can still have a lighter version of Waspito on their phones, where they can be able to still do consultations, be it not by video, can just be audio consultations as well. Waspito alone can't solve all of this problem. That's a fact. So I would encourage all the other entrepreneurs to pick up from where they stopped, to put more energy, because we need all hands on deck to actually solve this.